Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you join us today in today's live lecture coming to you from Kolomahadum Wisdom University. Today's date is Oye Market Day in the Igbo lunar calendar, and 9/11/2025 in the foreign Roman Catholic calendar. I remember at in Kolomahadum, we always advise you to use your naturally giving common sense, which we call akonuche in Igbo language. And also we are primarily set up to provide you with accurate information, accurate education, accurate direction than the miseducation, misinformation, and misdirection from the colonial masters, their institutions, and their stooges in our land. And we package and present our lectures from Igbo man, from Biafran and African perspectives. You see things from how it concerns you, not how it concerns other cultures. And for that reason, we are always asking you to join us, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And today also, as usual, we are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook, we are live on TikTok, and we are live on Twitter. The title of today's lecture is, How do you see the Israeli wars and bombing of Hamas negotiators in Doha, Qatar? How do you see the Israeli wars, all these wars by Israel, how do you see it? And the current bombing of Hamas negotiators in Doha, in a sovereign country, Qatar, how do you see it? We want to see your reaction, what you think in the comment section. And like, comment, and share this lecture to everybody. Before we go into the lecture, we have to notify you how the state of Israel was created. How did the state of Israel came to be? The state of Israel was created out of the Balfour Declaration. The Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the First World War, supporting the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Before this time, Palestine was on the Ottoman region with a small Jewish population. This letter was dated November 2nd, 1917 by Arthur Balfour. Arthur Balfour was the British Foreign Secretary. All this was provided by Wikipedia. And so the state of Israel was created out of the Balfour Declaration in 1917 because, you know, during that time, during the First World War between 1914 and 1918, Britain already knew that they are winning the war. They have upper hand. they will win the war. They are on the winning side. And they were given charge of that area, of the Palestinian area. Britain was given to overseeing that area. And that's why they thought that it's important to establish the Jewish state in the land of the Palestinian people. And then the state of Israel was actually created in 1948 after a UN General Assembly resolution, Resolution 181 in 1947, that called for the partition of Palestine, the land of the Palestinian people, to partition it into Arab section and Jewish section, which means this UN National Assembly Resolution 181 in 1947 called for the division of the land of the Palestinians, one side belonging to the Palestinian people and the other side belonging to the Israeli people. That was what was called for. And that was why the state of Israel was established on the land of the Palestinian people. And all this information, the credit goes to Wikipedia. They are the one that gave us this information. And the question we are asking is, does it make sense to cite Israel in the land of the Palestinian people? Because that is the genesis of all the wars that we are witnessing in the past and today. Does it make sense to cite, to bring the Jewish people from all over the world on the land of the Palestinian people? And we are saying that historically, it doesn't make any sense. Historically, it doesn't make any sense because so many people, so many countries have been lost, so many lands have been lost into the hands of foreigners. For example, the place we call America today is not owned by the Western Europeans. It is owned by the American Indians. And the Americans came all the way from Europe and took that land up to today, right? The same thing in Canada. The land you call Canada today, the people overseeing the land, the Canada, the land called Canada today are not the original owners of the land of Canada. They are owned by Western Europeans. The same thing with Australia. The same thing with New Zealand. And even if you come down to Africa, South Africa, if you come down to Southern Africa, South Africa, about 70% of the land is owned by Western Europeans. Also in Namibia and Zimbabwe, 70% of the land are owned by foreigners as we speak today. And in places where Europeans does not own land directly, they indirectly control the land, like in the continent of Africa. In the continent of Africa, remember they shared the land of Africa to themselves in the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. And so they control the land of Africa indirectly. So with all this in place, that's why we are saying that it doesn't make sense to even conceptualize, to even think of, to even try to retake even the original land of the Israelis, which was conquered by the Syrians and the Ottoman Empire, because Israel was defeated in war long time ago, and their land's taken. So their land was taken, just like the land of the people of the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and indirectly by African continent. A lot of lands have exchanged hands to foreigners. So it doesn't make sense, because this is the genesis of all the wars that has been going on between the Israeli people and the Israeli Jewish people and the Arabs. And there's a lot of them. And we counted the wars. They have fought up to 17 wars in total. Every time they are fighting. And so some of the wars that they have fought is the one they called the 1948 war between the Arabs and the Israelis. That's the one they call the Suez Crisis. That one happened in 1956. There was the one they called the Six-Day War. The Six-Day War happened in 2006. So a total of 17 wars every time they are fighting, because they were sited in the middle of the Arab land. And the Arabs themselves was opposing the decision to cite the state of Israel on their land from day one. They didn't like it. It's a wrong idea. That is why we are having all these wars between Israel and Lebanon and Syria and Yemen and Iraq, Iran, and so on and so forth. And remember, the current war started when some Hamas militants, right? When some Hamas militants went into Israel on October 7, 2023. But before then, since they set up the land of Israel since 1948, the people of the Palestine have been suffering. They have been suffering from the occupation of Israel, occupation of their land by Israel since 1948. So they have been resisting Israeli occupation for 75 years. And you can tell the way the British carved up that place, they gave the Israelis a long coast, just leaving the Palestinians with a very small coastal area. And so Israel controls everything coming into the Palestinian people. They control the food, they control the transportation, they control every movement, anything that's going in and out. Israel is the one that is controlling movement of everything in and out of Palestinian people. So they have been suffering for up to 70 years and more. And on October 7, 2023, out of the frustration, out of the whole thing they've been passing through, some of the militants went into Israel and killed some people. And since that time up till now, we have had a total of more than 84,000 Palestinians killed, including children and the elderly. Not even Hamas fighters, just the civilian population. Every day you wake up, you hear about 50 killed, 80 killed, 20 killed, 30 killed. Every day when you wake up, you will hear that many Palestinians are being killed. And you can see videos of where they are being starved. They don't have no food. They are running helter-skelter. Hospitals are bombed. Shelters are bombed. Houses are pulled down. High-rises are bombed down. And so this war and war and war going on in that area, we are advocating that peace should be the answer. Peace, not war, should be the answer. And in the past 72 hours, Israel have bombed Palestine, they have bombed Lebanon, they have bombed Syria, they have bombed Tunisia, they have bombed Qatar, they have bombed Yemen. 7 countries that Israel have bombarded in the last 72 hours. Continuous fighting. That is why we are That is why we are asking you, how do you see the Israeli wars and the bombing of Hamas negotiators in Doha? Let us know what you think. And so this war has been going on until 2 days ago, on 9/9/25, when Israeli negotiators supposed to meet Hamas negotiators in Doha. In Doha is the capital of Qatar. Doha is the capital of Qatar. They were preparing for a meeting in that capital city. And all of a sudden, the Israeli government bombed the negotiators, Hamas negotiators, who have come to negotiate for a peaceful settlement, for a peaceful resolution, so that this war and killings and destructions will stop. They bombed the negotiators, those who have come to negotiate with them to find a way out to stop the killings. Unfortunately, 3 of them were killed and others escaped. And that meeting that they planned to have didn't hold again. That meeting did not hold because negotiators were bombed. And that has set the peace process backwards and opened the gate for more killings, more destructions, more hunger in the land of the Palestinian people and across the Arab land. And that's what we are saying. The implication of this bombing have set the peace clock back. It has set the peace clock back. And it was even the American government. It was the American government that set up this peace meeting in Doha. It was the American government. It was the Trump government. How then can Israel bomb and kill these negotiators even without respecting Trump? They're supposed to respect Trump because America is the one giving Israel most of the things that they needed. All the money that they're using, all the weapons, all the bombings, all the bombs and airplanes, most of them are from America. And if Trump is the one that is organizing this meeting so that peace can be achieved, why then should Israel not respect what Trump is trying to achieve? That's what we're saying, that it is wrong. It is wrong for Israel to bomb these negotiators because there has to be peace. And we are asking you in this lecture, we want to hear your opinion. What do you think? You think that this fighting and continuous fighting by Israel is the way out? We at Nkola Mahadum don't think so. We think that the best way to keep Israel in that region, inside the Palestinian Arab land, is only through peaceful understanding, peaceful, appreciation, understanding that everybody in this world, every human being is a human being. There's no human being that is, lesser than any other human being. If Israel government understand that the Israeli people are as human as the Palestinian people, that everybody is born the same way, that everybody will die the same way. So why are we not equal? Why are the races not seen as equal? Plus, Britain made a very, very bad mistake to set up the Israeli state, the state of Israel, in the land of the Palestinian people. That's a wrong idea. And you know how Britain operates. They always operate to continue to cause confusion so that they will be relevant. There will be anarchy, you call them. There will be quarrel, you call them. That's why they set the state up in the Arab land. And that's why all these wars have been going on. That is something we want you to know. Another thing we want you to know is this. This war now that Israel is fighting, are they not fighting it with people? It's human beings that are fighting that war. It's weapons, airplanes, missiles, bombs, not related to Christianity. The action of Israel, does it really depict, if you are told that Jesus Christ was born in Nazareth, Israel, the action of Israel in this war with the Palestinian people, does it correspond with the tenets, with the practice of Jesus? Jesus doesn't preach wars. Jesus preaches for peace and harmony. But the government is not using that. Because now you have the Jewish religion and the Christian religion in Israel. And all these religions are not being used for this war. Instead, human beings are being used. Weapons made by man are being used to fight the war. That's what you should know. So if you are an African and you continue to believe what you are told in that storybook, why can't you see it by yourself that it's not tenable, it's not practicable, it's not being used? Because if it is being used, Israel will not be killing and fighting so many people. They will instead sue for peace and harmony, of which that storybook told you about Christ and Jesus and the Bible. So, Africans, you should stand up. You should step up and understand that there's information is available for you in this 21st century to know the truth and know how things work. The Europeans and everybody, what they are using to get what they want is war and war and war, and nothing else. And so we're going to be ending this lecture because we want to make it as short as possible. And what we are saying is, how do you see the Israeli wars, the bombing of Hamas negotiators in Doha, Qatar? Let us know what you think in the comment section. And we're asking you to like, comment, and share this lecture to get to everybody. And we stated here that the state of Israel was created out of the Balfour Declaration. The Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the First World War to support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Understand that Israel was cited, was created, was established in the land of the Palestinian people. That is the cause of all the problems. And then, before then, Palestine was under the Ottoman Empire. You know, during the First World War, it was between the Allied forces and the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire is today's Turkey. They are the one ruling the Middle East then. But since they were defeated in that First World War, that's why Britain was given the mandate to oversee that area. And eventually, remember, Britain was also given, Saudi Arabia. They are the one that gave the family ruling Saudi Arabia today. They are the one that selected the family ruling Saudi Arabia today. While Lebanon was given to France, the winners of the war. And then in the UN resolution, UN National Assembly resolution of 1947, Resolution 181 called for the partition of Palestine into Arab and Jewish states. All this information, the credit goes to Wikipedia. Why did they do that in the UN? They did that because they are the winners of the war. They are the winners of the war. They won both the First World War and Second World War. They are the winners. That's why they won the land of the Palestinian people divided. One given to the Arabs, Palestine, and the other one given to the Jewish people, Israel. That's what happened. That's why we are having all these wars. And we are saying that historically, you don't have to go and say you are citing the land of Israel in another man's land, or even in the land of Israel, because historically, many historical events have overtaken, the establishment in that location. Because we said that even America here is owned by American Indians, but those that is controlling the land and resources are the Western Europeans. The same thing in Canada, the same thing in Australia, the same thing in New Zealand, even in South Africa, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. They are controlling about 70% of the land. The land is everything. We want you to know that the land is everything. Who is managing the land? Because the land is scarce. Whoever is managing the land is the one that is controlling the resources of any place. And so we are saying that historical events does not support the establishment of the state of Israel on the land of the Palestinian people. And that's why all these wars has been going on. And there have been a total of 17 wars. I want to just mention a few. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, this Suez Crisis War, 1956, the Six-Day War, 1967, the War of Attrition, 1967 to 70, the Lebanon War, 1982, Israeli-Hezbollah War, 2006. From then up to today, plus the last one they had with Iran, all of them, total of 17 wars. That's why we are saying all these wars by Israel, is that the right thing to be doing? And we are refreshing your mind to know the current war between Israel and the Gaza Palestinian people started on October 7, 2023. Why the October 7 incident occurred is because of the oppression, suppression, maltreatment of the occupying force, Israel, on the Palestinian people since 1948. For so many years, they have endured a lot. And on October 7, 2023, some of their militants went into Israel and killed some people, stabbed some people, and that started the current war. And in this current war, more than 84,000 Palestinian people have been killed. Both children, both the elderly, a lot of civilians, both journalists, both doctors, medical practitioners, journalists. Lots of people have been killed. And a lot of properties destroyed, high rises, all kinds of structures destroyed. All this have nothing to do with Hamas. According to the information, Hamas is still strong and fighting. And we are saying in the last 3 days, Israel have bombed 7 countries: Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Tunisia, Qatar, and Yemen. 7 countries. And you can see the back and forth between them and Yemen, because Yemen is saying that they're going to be attacking Israel until Israel stops killing the Palestinian people. And the other day, Israel killed all the leaders, most of the leaders in Yemen. They bombed and killed most of the leaders in Yemen. So all this killing is going on, is it the best way? We at Nkola Mahadum are thinking it's not the best way. Peace is the best way. And now, when Donald Trump organized for a peace meeting between the Israeli negotiators and Hamas negotiators in Doha, 2 days ago, Israel bombed the Hamas negotiators in Doha, Qatar. And that's what we are saying. This bombing, the implication is that it has set the peace plan, the peaceful discussion backwards, which means the killings will continue. And we are saying that since America is the one that is supporting Israel heavily, all the money used to run Israel, all the military equipment, Caterpillar, bulldozers, armored tankers, bombers, F-35 fighters, and different weapons are supplied by America. And since America is the one calling for this peace meeting, why should Israel not respect America? Not respect them. That's what we are asking. And so, and America and other Western European countries like Britain, the news flying is that Britain was the champion of this killing of these Hamas people, because they don't want peace. They want war to continue. And we are saying that peace for Israel will only come when Israel realizes and agrees that all human beings are equal. That you are a Jewish doesn't make you better than an Arab, or an Arab better than a Biafran, or an Igbo man, or an African. We are all the same people. We are born the same way, and we die the same way. The only difference is in the economic balance of every area. Until Israel understands that and call the people of the Gaza people human beings and treat them like human beings, that's the only way they can have peace. And peace is needed since they were sighted in the middle of the Arab land, in the middle of the land of the Arab people. Only peace will bring a successful, progressive Israeli state in that region. Without peace, war is not the answer. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining me today, and have a good one. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.